Star Wars is more than just a movie franchise. It's a cultural phenomenon that has captured the hearts of millions for generations. George Lucas's original trilogy was groundbreaking, introducing a galaxy far away filled with unforgettable characters, an epic battle between good and evil, and the mystical power of the Force. The prequel trilogy, though divisive, expanded the lore and deepened the mythology. Then Disney purchased Lucasfilm in 2012 and promised to take Star Wars to new heights. Fans were hopeful, excited even, at the prospect of fresh stories and innovative storytelling. But what we got instead was a mixed bag of nostalgia, rushed character arcs, and endless content designed more for profit than passion. Sure, there were moments of brilliance, and some projects, like The Mandalorian, captured the magic of Star Wars. However, for many fans, Disney's stewardship of the franchise has been a disappointment. From sidelining beloved characters to churning out content at breakneck speed, Disney has made choices that have fundamentally changed the way we experience Star Wars. This video isn't about hating on Disney for the sake of it. It's about examining how the franchise has shifted under their leadership. We'll dive into 5 ways Disney ruined Star Wars, and explore why these choices have left so many fans feeling let down. Whether you're a die-hard fan of the originals, a defender of the prequels, or someone who loves Baby Yoda, this conversation will give you a fresh perspective on what's happened to the galaxy far, far away. So buckle up, grab your lightsaber, and prepare to journey through hyperspace as we explore what went wrong and what it means for the future of Star Wars. Before we jump in, only 2% of you watching right now are subscribed. That means most of you are enjoying the content without being part of the community yet. If you're loving what you see and don't want to miss out, why not hit that subscribe button? It's completely free, takes just a second, and helps the channel grow, so I can keep bringing you more of the content you love. Now, let's continue this video. Under Disney's rule, the Force stopped being a mystical energy field and became something anyone could pick up with minimal effort. In the original trilogy, Luke Skywalker had to train with Yoda, fail repeatedly, and even face his deepest fears to master the Force. With Disney's sequel trilogy, Rey seems to skip the entire hard work phase. She's a scavenger one day and a Jedi Master the next, without breaking a sweat. It's as if the Force became a plug-and-play feature, rather than an ancient discipline. Her sudden mastery of the Force raises more questions than it answers. How does someone who's never wielded a lightsaber defeat a trained Sith like Kylo Ren? How does she perform Jedi mind tricks without any formal training? Fans of the franchise know that mastery of the Force was never meant to be easy. It was a journey. Disney turned it into something anyone could feel when the plot required it. This approach cheapens the entire concept of the Force. In George Lucas's vision, it was a spiritual, almost religious entity tied to balance and harmony in the galaxy. By reducing it to a convenient plot device, Disney took away the wonder and reverence that made it so special. It's as if they saw the Force not as a vital piece of lore, but as a marketing gimmick. Perhaps the most glaring example of this is how the Force has become democratized in the Disney era. The idea that anyone could be Force-sensitive was intriguing at first, but it's been handled so clumsily that it now feels like a cop-out. Gone are the days when the Force was something rare and powerful. Now, it feels like a shortcut to explain away a character's sudden abilities. Ultimately, Disney's treatment of the Force feels like a missed opportunity. They had the chance to expand on its mysteries and deepen its mythology. Instead, they turned it into a shallow, corporate-friendly tool to move the plot along. Yoda must be shaking his little green head in disappointment. The Skywalker family was the heart and soul of the original Star Wars saga. Anakin's fall, Luke's redemption, and Leia's leadership formed the backbone of the galaxy's most compelling story. Yet, Disney's sequel trilogy systematically dismantled this legacy, leaving the family broken and their accomplishments undone. By the end of The Rise of Skywalker, the actual Skywalker bloodline is extinct, replaced by Rey adopting the name out of nowhere. Anakin Skywalker was supposed to be the chosen one who brought balance to the Force. His redemption in Return of the Jedi was a powerful conclusion to his arc. But Disney decided to undermine it by resurrecting Emperor Palpatine. By doing so, they erased the importance of Anakin's sacrifice. If Palpatine never truly died, what was the point of Anakin's entire journey? Luke Skywalker fared no better. He went from being the optimistic hero who believed in redemption to a bitter recluse who gave up on everything. His character in The Last Jedi was unrecognizable, and while his arc tried to show a more human side of him, it left many fans feeling betrayed. The man who saved Darth Vader wouldn't give up on his nephew. Yet, Disney reduced him to a grumpy old man drinking alien milk. Leia's legacy was treated with a bit more respect, but even her arc wasn't immune to Disney's questionable choices. Her sudden ability to survive in space without explanation fell out of place, and while her leadership was inspiring, it was overshadowed by the messy storytelling around her. Carrie Fisher's untimely death made things harder, but the character deserved a better send-off than what she got. The Skywalker name was handed to Rey, a character with no connection to their bloodline or struggles. While Rey calling herself a Skywalker was meant to be symbolic, it felt unearned. The legacy of the family that defined Star Wars for decades was reduced to a convenient brand name for Disney to slap on the final chapter. Disney's Star Wars seems to have one motto: if it worked before, use it again. Nostalgia has been weaponized to keep fans engaged, but at a cost. Instead of creating new stories that expand the galaxy, Disney keeps recycling old ones with a shiny new coat of paint. The sequels are filled with callbacks to the original trilogy, often to the point where it feels like they're trying too hard to remind you why you loved Star Wars in the first place. The biggest offender is The Force Awakens, which is essentially a rehash of A New Hope. A desert scavenger? Check. A droid carrying vital information? Check. A giant spherical superweapon? Double check. While the film was entertaining, it leaned so heavily on nostalgia that it failed to stand on its own. By the time The Rise of Skywalker rolled around, fans were drowning in recycled plot points and fan service moments. Even Palpatine's return was a nostalgia grab. His sudden resurrection in the final film was never explained properly. But it didn't matter. His mere presence was supposed to thrill fans. Instead, it left many scratching their heads. Bringing back the Emperor felt like a desperate move to recapture the magic of the original trilogy, rather than a natural progression of the story. The same problem plagues the spin-offs and Disney Plus shows. While some, like The Mandalorian, offer fresh perspectives, others lean too heavily on nostalgia. The Book of Boba Fett turned a mysterious, iconic character into a generic crime lord, and Obi-Wan Kenobi felt like a collection of greatest hits rather than a meaningful addition to the lore. Nostalgia is fine in small doses, but Disney has overused it to the point where it's hard to take their storytelling seriously. By relying so heavily on nostalgia, Disney has stifled the creative potential of the Star Wars universe. There's a whole galaxy to explore, yet they keep returning to the same well. Fans don't want a remix of the original trilogy. They want something new that captures the spirit of Star Wars while moving the story forward. One of the most controversial aspects of Disney's Star Wars era is how they treated the original trilogy's beloved characters. Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Leia were the heart of the franchise. But their roles in the sequels often felt like afterthoughts. Instead of being honored as legends, they were pushed aside to make way for the new cast, often at the expense of their own character arcs. Luke's portrayal in The Last Jedi is the most divisive example. Fans who grew up idolizing the Jedi Knight were shocked to see him as a cynical recluse. His refusal to train Rey, and his pessimism about the Jedi Order, felt out of character for someone who once believed in redeeming Darth Vader. While some appreciated the attempt to show Luke's humanity, many felt it was a betrayal of his legacy. Han Solo didn't fare much better. In The Force Awakens, he's back to being a smuggler, as if his character development in the original trilogy never happened. His reunion with Leia is brief and bittersweet, and he's ultimately killed by his son, Kylo Ren. While his death was meant to be dramatic, it felt rushed and unearned, leaving fans with little time to process the loss of one of Star Wars' most iconic characters. Leia's role was handled with more care, but even she was sidelined in favor of the new characters. While her leadership and strength were still evident, her screen time was limited, and her character arc was overshadowed by the chaotic storytelling around her. The decision to have her survive in space without explanation was another polarizing moment that left fans scratching their heads. By sidelining the original trio, Disney missed an opportunity to create a meaningful transition between the old and new generations. Instead of giving these characters the send-off they deserved, they were reduced to supporting roles in a story that often felt more interested in setting up spin-offs than honoring the legacy of the originals. There was a time when a new Star Wars movie was an event. Fans would line up for hours, eager to see the next chapter in the saga. Under Disney, that sense of anticipation has been replaced by exhaustion. With new movies, spin-offs, and Disney Plus series coming out constantly, Star Wars has gone from a cherished saga to a never-ending content pipeline. The release schedule feels relentless. Between the sequel trilogy, standalone movies like Rogue One and Solo, and an ever-growing list of Disney Plus shows, it's hard to keep up. While some of these projects have been excellent, The Mandalorian stands out as a highlight. Others feel unnecessary. Do we really need an origin story for every character who appeared on screen for 5 seconds? This oversaturation has taken away the magic that made Star Wars special. Part of what made the original trilogy so iconic was its sense of mystery and grandeur. Disney's approach, however, feels more like a checklist: more Jedi, more battles, more Baby Yoda. By trying to please everyone, they've risked losing the soul of what made Star Wars unique in the first place. Even the quality of the storytelling has suffered. With so much content being produced, it's inevitable that not every project will hit the mark. For every Andor, there's a Book of Boba Fett. a show that left many fans wondering why it even existed. The rush to create more Star Wars content has led to uneven quality and a lack of focus. In the end, Disney's Star Wars feels more like a product than a passion project, so Galaxy Far Away has become a brand, complete with merchandise, theme parks, and endless spin-offs. While the franchise is still beloved, the magic is harder to find amidst the constant stream of new content. Star Wars used to be an adventure, now it feels like a business. At its core, Star Wars is a story about hope, redemption, and the eternal battle between light and dark. Under Disney's leadership, the franchise has struggled to maintain the balance that made it so special. By rushing to capitalize on nostalgia, sidelining the legacy of its original characters, and flooding fans with endless spin-offs, Disney has transformed Star Wars from a beloved saga into a corporate juggernaut. The magic that once defined the galaxy has been overshadowed by the demands of the content machine. That's not to say there haven't been bright spots. Shows like The Mandalorian and Andor prove that there's still room for creativity and depth within the franchise. But these successes feel like exceptions rather than the rule. For every step forward, there's a misstep that reminds fans of how far Star Wars has strayed from its roots. Perhaps the most frustrating part is the missed potential. Disney had the resources, talent, and opportunity to take Star Wars in bold new directions. Instead, they played it safe, leaned too heavily on the past, and lost sight of the heart of the story. The Force may still be with us, but it feels less powerful, less meaningful, and less magical than it once did. As fans, we'll always hold on to the parts of Star Wars we love, even if the franchise itself isn't what it used to be. The original trilogy, the prequels, and even some of the Disney-era projects will continue to inspire and captivate audiences. But as we look to the future, let's hope the powers behind the galaxy remember what made it special in the first place. Star Wars deserves better, and so do its fans. Thank you for watching and supporting the channel. If you're enjoying the content and want to see more, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to stay updated on future uploads. Your support means the world to me. And if you'd like to go the extra mile, you can use the Super Thanks feature to help keep the channel going strong. Every contribution, no matter how small, helps me create better content for you. Thanks for being part of this amazing community.